Boruto episode 112, the Chunin, of course that fell off, the Chunin selection process, or conference, sorry. Good episode. Totally, like, a caveat to it, it's a double-edged sword. It's a good episode, but it's only good because we got to see stuff from the Chunin exams, which was sweet. Sakura punching that one dude, or it was maybe another girl, I can't remember. But the cut they did was the funniest thing, because it was like, yeah, and then this happened, and that happened. And they cut to Sakura, and it was just like, boom, and she just socked that person straight into the wall, and I was like, that was great to see twice. I actually rewound it. I watched it, like, I think I repeated it maybe 2 or 3 times, because it was just like, that's just satisfying. Like, she just does one solid punch, and they're just launched, and that was it. But I liked the episode. I did like it, them going through the process. Wasn't personally, I think I read the comments. A lot of people felt the same, where it was like, oh man, I would have preferred if it was Sadara. Especially considering technically the ending is just them redoing what happened in the original series. So it was like, it would be one thing if it was like, okay, you know, we have them going through the process, which I think I've referenced this before. It was like, they just can't seem to get through an effing Chunin exam without the village getting attacked. So it was like, okay, that's funny. You know, they do the same thing. And then it was like, they do the exact same thing, and they choose the Shikamaru of this generation, and it's the exact same thing, where he's the one person who actually makes it. And I was like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand. Sasuke totally, like, blocked his daughter on that. Technically, Shikamaru was trying to do the same thing for all the kids. He was like, nah, not my son. I'm just going to retrain them all from scratch. Like, they just sucked. Like, they were just absolute trash or something. And they even reference it in the episode. Naruto was like, aren't you being a little harsh? And it was just like, he just cut it off. It was like, nope, not him. None of them. They suck. I was just like, that was a bit much. And then Sasuke comes in and does the same thing with Sadara. And it was just like, I get it. And I never really understood the process of the Chunin exams, because it seems so that it's funny to think about it, because I forgot the exact rules. I forgot it was literally like only one person can make it. I thought they could choose more than one person. I thought that in the original series they only chose Shikamaru because of everything that happened. It was like, all right, they specifically were like, yeah, everyone else isn't really ready. I thought it was they only chose him just because he was the only one ready. I didn't realize that it was only one person can actually make it, which does make sense, sort of, but not really, because it's like you have like a bunch of different villages doing it, and they also had that in the original series. So it's not like you have this happen and then it's like every single person becomes a Chunin. And maybe you do. I guess it's one Chunin for every single place they still get to choose, because it's the same with Shikamaru, where it's like, regardless of whether or not people end up winning or losing, you know, it still ends up coming down to what, you know, the Hokage or whoever ends up deciding. So it was like Shikamaru the first time, and now, Shikadai this time. And so it was like, okay, it's cool, it makes sense. You know, he's a genius. He is the new version of Shikamaru. He's his father. And so it's like, you sent him out as your proxy, basically. Like, you chose him of everyone in the village. You chose your son. And of course, they do reference the fact that with them being Genin, they were able to move around a lot more freely, but he did choose his own son. You know, like, he chose his son to go out and do that mission as his proxy. And it was, you know, Naruto made a great point. Like, you're the one that did all this stuff. And I still feel like it was total BS, because I'm like, okay, makes sense. I totally understand the Shikadai thing. But I was just like, why didn't they just do both? Because like I said, maybe I just forgot. I'd have to rewatch the original series to be like, oh, you can only have one person. But I was just like, why not just make it Sadara and Shikadai? I felt like they both totally deserved it. Like, they made 100 million points for everybody. It was like, this person lost, this person wasn't ready for this. You know, like everything with Iwabe, Metally, and all that stuff. It was like, all right, great points here and there. Mitsuki's powerful, but he's not really ready for that. Boruto, you know, like, it's the same thing where he's not really ready, and of course he should be disqualified instantly just for using the tool. And that's when Shikadai came in and was like, well, not so fast. Like, he still thought that, you know, Boruto could only do this. I was like, yeah, after like 8 years of knowing the kid, he knew what his limits were. He just pulled out a cheating move, and it was like, really, you're calling him out on like a super crazy technicality? But ultimately, of course, it didn't matter. But I thought that was so funny, because I'm like, he kind of underestimated, but at the same time, he didn't, because even if he pulled out one extra, it wouldn't make a difference. Like, he caught him in that move. He pulled off a move that literally no one could do, like, which was a jutsu, basically a jutsu in a bottle. Like, he pulled out a tiny scroll and instantaneously summoned. No one can do that as a normal technique. So it was like, he didn't underestimate anything. He saw what was happening, and he won. And then, you know, Boruto cheated, and he just pulled out, like, you know, just boom, clones out of his ass, and he won. But it was just like, I don't know why they couldn't just do both. And I guess it's probably due to the fact that they're like, all right, we'll have it be Shikadai, and it's the exact same thing. Also, I never even noticed this until this episode. I probably did, and I just forgot. But as soon as they were handing him the thing, I was like, dang, he even wears the freaking headband on his arm, just like his dad did too. And I was like, it's the exact same character, which, we always knew that. I think they're the most similar characters. Like, no one is like their parents like Shikadai is. Like, everyone else is at least some sort of mixture. Chocho, I would have to say, was number 2, because we hardly know, like, we never even really got to know her mom. So I was like, yeah, she's kind of like Choji, where she eats a bunch and stuff like that, but she's also a girly girl. So, like, there is some elements where it's like, okay, these characters are like this with their parents, but also like this. Shikadai is just Shikamaru. Just again, like, that's all he is. And so it was just crazy to see that at the end. I was like, after all that, they just did the exact same thing. And I assume that that's what they did in the manga, which I guess was, it's supposed to be like this cyclical, cool nostalgia thing where it's like, here's these great moments from the Chunin exam, all entertaining. And then, of course, it gets to the end. It's like, surprise, it's, Shikadai, just like it was Shikamaru in the original series. But I was just like, yeah, I get it. And they basically pulled, even for Sadara, they kind of pulled a technicality on that too, where it was like, the only reason they didn't choose her was because she left the village. And I was like, I don't really know. Like, why not just do both? She's a great character. She's my favorite character, but I don't mind. I personally like the outfit that she's in, so, like, them putting the green on her, I would have hated that anyway, because I'm like, that sucks compared to, like, the long burgundy outfit she has now, which I just think looks cool, like, the armbands and all that. So I was kind of okay when they were handing them the thing, because I was like, I don't even like the jackets as much. I don't think I've referenced that, but the Chunin vests that they have in this generation of the series suck compared to the original, where it was like a cool jacket and you can zip it up and it had the pockets. It's just like a chest piece. Like, it's just a flat chest piece, and it's got like the arms, and they just don't look cool to me. And I was like, these are not sweet. Like, I don't think any of them look that cool. And I was just like, man, the original outfits just look a million times better, or the original jackets, because I'm sure you could buy these, but like, I wonder if there's a comparison, if you could see like how many of the new generation Chunin vests get bought compared to the original series Chunin vests, because those things look a million times sweeter. Like, they look like real vests, like real jackets, and these are more like just full body armor sets, unless there is like a zipper somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure it's just like you put it over your head and that's it, but I'd have to pay attention to it because it's just flat green from what I can remember. So I was like, all right, it's cool, because at least Sadara still looks sweet. So I was like, whatever. And so, of course, we got the next episode coming up where they instantly throw Shikadai like right into a mission where it's like, all right, go lead a team right now. And so we'll see how that ends up playing out. I can't even remember who the heck was on the team. I want to say it was Boruto, I think Iwabe, and then maybe somebody else. Well, I know it was somebody else. It was 3 other people. But I was like, man, I can't really remember. And also, it seems like they're throwing them out there super fast, because I didn't remember that being a thing in the original series either, where it's like, all right, they said a lot of stuff where I was like, I don't remember any of this from the original, where they say, like, once you're a Chunin, you become, like, the captain of your team and all that stuff. I was like, I don't remember literally any of this stuff happening in any way, shape, or form in the original series. So I could be wrong. You guys can let me know, because, of course, it's been a minute since the Chunin exams of the first series. But I was like, yeah, Shikamaru got the, he became the Chunin, but that didn't seem to change anything. It was like, all right, it's the Shikacho trio. Asuna was still there. It's like, of course, as the series went on, he was able to, he was the second in command, but they were saying a lot of stuff where it's like, you'll be the captain of your team and leader and stuff like that. And I was like, that seems odd. It seems like they're throwing him in, and in the next episode, he's literally the captain of a 3-man squad. And I was like, I feel like they didn't do that before. And maybe it's due to the fact that they might even reference it in the next episode, but they never did that before. But they also weren't technically at peace, considering the original series. So maybe that's why they never did that sort of stuff. And they only did it during like the Sasuke arc, when Shikamaru was kind of the one, leading everybody out there. But other than that, they weren't like, all right, poof, you're leading your team now, or leading like random 3-man squads for, just miscellaneous missions and stuff. So it's really interesting to see them kind of throw that in there, because I was like, we never had that before. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, decent episode, but when you really look at it, it was a meh episode, because the only reason it was good is because they showed off already cool stuff. And then it ultimately ends where it's literally just like repeating the original series. Because like, we already had the Chunin exam destruction in the original series, had it here again. It led to a cooler fight. I will say them, especially the redone version. Like, the movie I thought was super sweet, and then they redid it for the anime, and it's like effing insane. I've probably watched that like over a dozen times, just that fight scene with Naruto and Sasuke. I was like, yeah, that's cool. They put like a slight reference in there to the other guy where it was like, oh, he was probably here before the other two even showed up, so we don't really know where he's at anymore. So kind of doing some investigations when Sasuke comes in. But it was like, okay, they're at least referencing it. That kind of proves that we're back, hopefully, on like some main arc type stuff for the actual series because they referenced like important stuff and not just filler episodes. So we'll see what happens. I think the next one is probably just going to be a filler. Who knows? That could have been in the manga as well. But I was like, okay, we'll see what ends up happening with this next one. But this one was just meh as an episode. They showed cool stuff, but it was really just like, remember how you like this thing? And I was like, I did, and that makes me like the episode. But as an episode, it was a clip show, and it had some decent stuff. And then, of course, it comes down to it, and it was like, let's just repeat what happened in the original series, where Shikamaru became a Chunin, and now his son will, because they're the genius characters who strategize in battle and stuff like that. So I was like, all right. Still weird. Still surprised about the whole you can only choose one thing. I really didn't know that. I thought it was legitimately whoever they deemed worthy was going to become a Chunin. But they were like, yeah, we have to like throw people out and you can only be one. And I was like, I don't remember that. But it's been a million years since the original series. So I don't know. If that was always a thing, please let me know. Because I was like, that kind of blew my mind. I was like, what's the point of even having different villages come together if only one person ends up winning? And it would probably be one person from every village anyway. And I know they actually explain that where it's like, it's like that one moment where you get to learn what other villages can do and stuff like that. So I get it. But it was still just like, this is odd. So odd to me. I don't know. But very interesting. They even talk, well, I guess because it was held at the village, but they even talk about Shiki, Gaara's son. And I was like, why are they even talking about him? Like, he isn't a part of their village and stuff. So that kind of surprised me. They had a picture of him, so they were like, yeah, he kind of abandoned his team and stuff. And I was like, he's not even a part of the village. Why? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. That was another random thing where I was like, I didn't think that they could choose who becomes the Chunin from people from other villages, because that literally makes no sense whatsoever. Even if it is hosted at your village, that doesn't make any sense. He's not going to be there. Like, it didn't make any sense. It was like he'd become a Chunin, in the other village. And so, like, why wouldn't Gaara be the one to decide that sort of stuff? So it was some random stuff where I was like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So weird things were happening, and I felt like they were adding some stuff that we'd never seen before. But that was the episode. All in all, it was okay. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about it, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And of course, are you happy that Shikadai is the one to become the Chunin, or do you wish it was Sadara like I do, even though I think it wouldn't look as cool with her having the vest on. But I still was like, I feel like both of them. If I had to pick, admittedly, I hate to say it, I would choose Shikadai just because of the fact that he's a genius character. He is sent as the like everything they said was like, yeah, that's 100% correct. But also, it's just a dumb rule to only have one person become a Chunin. Because I was like, it just made me think of a lot of stuff from the original series. I was like, so did they just go like every 3 years? Or I guess it's like once a year? So did everyone just have to wait like every single year you finally make it? It takes you like 10 years if you aren't the one person that made it and you finally become a Chunin. And I'm like, that's dumb. That's so crazy to me. But whatever. It is what it is. Like I said, I definitely want to know what you guys thought about this one. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.